Kirst, the low save.
I thought Malone was going to get picked 5 or 6.
Yeah, I had him in the top 7, big board-wise, in terms of overall draft potential.
Oh, a 2-bomb. There they go again. Chris Aslanian has the first of the day for the Cannons. They continue to rack them up.
And you've just got to be aware of the Cannons in transition, because it's not just one guy, right? We highlighted Campbell, but Aslanian has got this type of range. He's got 1 2-pointer already this season, a number of them throughout his career. But you've got to step out. They're going to be ultra aggressive. This is a critical part of their offense. It's not only do they lead the league in 2-point goals made, it's also in most shots. It's also in the shooting percentage.
They take 8.5 2-point shots per game. That is best in the league. You know what's really crazy too? You watch Aslanian shoot from 2. He's got like the same mechanics and strokes as Campbell.
It's hard to tell them apart sometimes. At the 16th 2-pointer of the season for Boston, a new PLL record. And we still got 2 weeks left in the regular season.
Nardella is going to be the X factor for Maryland in this game.
Can the Whipsnakes be effective with a 32-second shot clock? Already down to 10.
They're going to get more possessions. They're going to play slow, according to head coach Jim Stagnita.
Kessenich dribbles it past Kirst.
This is big for the Whips. You think of Mike Kessenich. I thought he was a little quiet yesterday. And now playing alongside Tucker Dordovic, I think he's going to get a little bit more wiggle room. The top defender from a midfield perspective will go on 2 in black, 1 in black, Kessenich, who's a top 2-point shooter in pro lacrosse history, showing you his ability to beat a defender off the dribble. I love how he stayed north-south, too. A lot of times you'll see a Dodger there will go towards the sideline when they feel contact. Like, he used his strength, and he stayed on that straight line.
You got a good look at Jimmy Stagnita. He also mentioned the pick-and-roll game against Nolting and Marcus Holman, and then defending the 2s, and we've already seen that be a theme in all situations.
Zach Tucci.
Whipsnakes, Drew, have to defend the 2s. Transition, settled, and especially on the power play.
Oh, it was Tucci, the face-off man, with a shot just inside the arc. Whipsnakes responded in 30 seconds to tie this game back up at 2. Colin Heacock had his best game of the season yesterday with those 3 goals. Had 4 goals in 6 games combined coming in. Now Rambo, 2 goals in the first quarter yesterday. Harassed by Bubba Fairman. That's Terp on Terp. Heacock denied by Kirst. 3 saves early for Colin Kirst.
And the way the short stick defensive midfielders play the pick game for the Cannons is ultra aggressive. There you saw Fairman jump out and take on that challenge. They're not afraid of any of those switches. They want to be aggressive and jump the picks.
Outside the arc, this is Alexander Vardaro. Feed in front, Nolting with another assist. Ryan Drenner on the business end.
And Kark, this is set up by the gravity of Matt Campbell. You're gonna see this ball swung to Asher Nolting, and there's gonna be a 2-on-1, and Nolting uses the threat of Campbell outside. That's what frees up the interior for Drenner. You see 39 Squires there?
He's pressed.
He was worried about the rotation going to Campbell, so he started drifting out, and then Drenner slid right behind that in the soft spot.
How about the IQ of Drenner to do that, though, too? Because you feel that the presence of the shooter is out top in Matt Campbell. It's not the next pass in rotation.
Williams, how's that for an answer? 7 seconds, we're tied again.
That's the power of Joe Nardella right there.
Bingo.
You have statistically the best face-off guy in the league, and he's owned every matchup. No one's getting the best of Joe Nardella. So Boston wants to go on a little run. He's the answer here. Wins the draw, and that is good ball movement. The hockey assist from Nardella. You have a pass from Jack Corus down to Williams, identifying the big righty gun from outside goal line extended. He has made a living there.
Tucci wins one now 4-2 in favor of Nardella.
Watch Jack Corus on the wings, too. He played at Maryland for John Tillman. He's a utility midfielder. Can play all over the field. You saw the pass to Williams. He had 2 goals the Minneapolis weekend when we were there. He's a midfielder that can do so many different things.
Both of these teams dress some two-way guys.
There's Corus playing defense with the ground ball.
You look at Maryland, really Puglisi here with the ball. He's the only true short stick.
And he can shoot himself.
You got Jacobois, who's a two-way guy. They've got Heacock as a two-way guy. Corus you saw on that wing, and then Patra.
9 former Maryland Terrapins on the 19-man active roster. Yesterday and today they removed Bernhardt. They put in Corus. Same alma mater. Malone turns and scores. Man, this kid is having a breakout if he didn't have one already. What a weekend for TJ Malone.
Watch how TJ Malone feels the pressure in that horse hook check attempt by Garrett Epple. He brings him up here, goal line extended. Right here, watch this. He feels his pressure, and then it's roll.
But everything's super fundamentally sound. Look at that stick protection. Watch that roll dodge. He brings his stick with him. Epple tries to get him a trail check, but he brings the stick with him first, then changes hands, and then it's all overhand. I mean, Epple almost got him on that trail.
But the transfer of the hands, a lot of guys get caught with that check because the stick is trailed behind them. As he's making that roll, he brings the stick in front of him, and it doesn't allow Epple to get on there.
He's doing it against a perennial finalist for Defensive Player of the Year.
Guy leads
Garrett
the league
Epple.
in caused turnovers.
Pretty much every season, it feels like. Williams again, same spot, curse the save.
And that's what having Heacock and Corus and Patra on the wing afford you. You could just go a little bit quicker in the 32. It's one less substitution to have to make.
Great point.
And Nardella can stay on too. It's just at this point there's going to be a gajillion face-offs.
Anderson misses high, another rookie for the Whips.
And that possession advantage expected from the Whipsnakes could even the energy disparity that we may see later with the Whipsnakes playing on 24 hours rest in 100-degree temperatures.
Here's Malone. He's got the short stick matchup against Jeff Traynor. Gets to the crease, stepped in it. Good defense from Traynor. The Whips wanted a hold. Quint, give us an idea of how tired you think the Whipsnakes will be, especially toward the end of this game.
Well, the last 10 minutes for the doubleheader home teams this summer have been an issue. We've seen it week after week. It'll show up late in the third quarter and then in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is just pure adrenaline at this point.
Advantage early in the game to the doubleheader team we've seen also.
Kavanaugh twists out of trouble, hangs onto the ball. 20 to shoot. Here's Matt Campbell. Nobody has hit more 2 bombs than he has this year, 5 of them. Nolting with some trouble on the pass, 10 seconds on the timer. Past the midway point of the first quarter, Whips by 1. Nolting playing bully ball. Great defense, no chance at a shot. It's Matt Dunn, former Defensive Player of the Year a few years ago.
You love this crowd, this hometown crowd applauding the defensive effort.
They know ball down
That's
here.
right, that's right.
Darby Boyle in the stands. He knows ball. Is he here?
Of course.
More great defense. Ethan Rawl on the other side, 35 in red, white, and blue.
This is where the Cannons are lethal in transition. Watch Van Raphorst and Traynor.
Tried to thread the needle to Kavanaugh.
A little sloppy.
Yeah, rookie lost it.
Yeah. They got their practice in yesterday afternoon before the Lightning came.
Williams rips home another. Zed Williams has multiple goals.
How does he sneak
in
this one in?
6 consecutive games now.
How does he sneak this one in?
He shoots through contact, and he uses his defender as a screen. Look at the look off. So I think Kurse is thinking, wait, is there another guy I need to worry about? High heat, and actually he shoots through the plastic. Kurse gets a piece of this, but Williams is too strong.
The PLL on ESPN is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
Well, it may look a little different than it used to. There's turf here at Homewood Field now. No more mud bowls like that. But so much history here, and some of the best players to ever suit up have played here. Of course, Kyle Harrison, Paul Rabel, two of the best ever. At Johns Hopkins. Championship in 2005 with those two guys on the roster. And they're in the house today. Paul Rabel, the co-founder and president of the PLL. Kyle Harrison, I saw him walking around too. And that's Vernon Davis, the old tight end, right? There's Dave Petramale. He's wearing a different shade of light blue now.
Yeah, he's
Carolina.
defensive coordinator at UNC. Both of his boys playing for the Tar Heels down in Chapel Hill.
Look, they've been playing lacrosse here since the 1890s. There's not a bad seat in the house here at Homewood Field. A very educated crowd, whether it's for a Hopkins game or a Whipsnakes game. I remember playing as a freshman. I threw a routine clearing pass, and the place basically went crazy, and they gave me an ovation. I'm like, wow, these people know the game. So this is a sophisticated and passionate lacrosse crowd here in Baltimore.
That was the second year, 1892, right?
Plus about 100. Now, it's been a little bit of a drought. You know, they haven't won a title since 05 and 07. We've been sniffing around it recently.
Quinn, I'm not trying to make you feel old, but was it grass when you were playing goalie here?
No.
Turf.
It's not that old, Drew. Still run circles around you.
I'd bet on that. It's interesting to see this matchup down below here with Pat Cavanaugh and Ajax Zapatello. A lot of history of those two going against each other in college. Maryland, Notre Dame. Cavanaugh behind at X right now. Zapatello stalking him.
Yeah, but in the national championship this year.
Who do you think has the advantage, given that familiarity?
Get to that in a sec. Well, when I watch them play, they go against each other all the time. I think Ajax has always played fantastic defense. But Pat Cavanaugh's got a little bit of that Connor Fields in him. When you bottle him up, he still does something ridiculous. So I saw multiple goals in his career on Ajax. Like, how did he do that?
Because you know one of them, when they get to the pro levels, like, you again?
Yeah.
I thought we were done with this.
Who is that guy for you, RB?
Nobody from the college to the pros. Well, Lee Zink, who got inducted to the Hall of Fame, it was like, you knew you were in for a battle.
Anderson up top.
It's when you know you have a good college career when you're like, nobody.
Yeah, I was thinking, my goodness.
Nobody.
Okay. No, it's more of like it was so long ago, I don't really remember.
Did you play on grass or turf? Feet in front, twister finish. Adam Patra, and guess who gets the helper? TJ Malone.
And this is a bad defensive possession for Cannons because the Whipsnakes were substituting. They'd basically punted on this possession. You're going to see the left side of your screen. Levi Anderson, he trots off. So the Cannons have an extra defender and a free double team. So this slide right here by Ethan Roll, there should have been organized second slide behind the play.
Patra's finish is nasty. Like, he catches that in real time, like, oh, it's just a little bit of a slam dunk. I mean, that is a sweet twister where he catches it, twists it, all in one motion. No chance for Kirst. But the timing of the passing, that's the second pass now TJ Malone has made, and he's waited long enough where he's going to feel a little bit more pressure, but it gives his teammate another beat to get open. Like, he doesn't have these, like, big bright eyes where he's like, okay, time to get rid of it. I see a slide. He plays with it.
He's like a quarterback standing in the pocket.
Knowing that, exactly.
Waiting for the hit.
Exactly.
It's like Joe Flacco.
And if I wait and get hit, I know I'm going to get it off at the right time.
He soaked that check from Trainer right after he released the pass. Malone's got 6 assists now in his last 5 quarters.
You got to go right back to Dordovic here.
Williams delivers some punishment. Rambo's outside the arc. Don't see that off. It goes to the right hand and scores. Matt Rambo with an alley dodge from the top. 5 straight for the Whips.
There was some disarray here that allowed Rambo to get to his right hand. It was like a car accident.
This is the strength of Zed Williams, listed at 185. Yeah, right. Bryce Young just bounces off of him. And during that recovery, Rambo wisely senses, hey, there's a seam here. There's an opportunity to go.
Well, the Whipsnakes trying to become just the second team in this historic PLL season to win both games on homecoming. Last team to do it was New York all the way back in the opener in Albany, and they're off to a really, really good start today. They scored the last 6 goals in the first quarter, including this by Zed Williams right at the buzzer, RB.
Yeah, just leans in, brute force, using that big 200-plus pound frame on Van Raphorst. He's just too big, too strong, too physical.
And you know what he does, too, on this? He bounces the ball. The last couple times he shot high to high on Kurse. It looks like Kurse was expecting that.
Yeah, he always mixes it up.
It's Zed's 5th consecutive hat trick, and we've played 12 minutes.
What's going on with this offense?
Yeah.
It's a juggernaut this weekend.
Well, Kark, how do the Cannons get back in this game?
They start by, I think, letting Holman and Asher Knowlton get their touches, right? These are two guys who are accustomed to a plethora of touches. I just feel like they haven't been involved in this game at all.
They got to get some stops.
Does Marcus have a shot?
Oh, there's Campbell with a stutter step and a mid-range jumper for him. Ends a 6-0 run.
This offense can get them back in this game. They just got to get possessions off face-off wins and on stops. And here's Campbell. Anytime he's on a short stick, you got to be prepared. You got to go. And it's a nice little kind of flare screen by Holman. Watch on the left side of your screen. He's going to come through. Puglisi kind of anticipates, hey, look, we're going to slide, and then I'm going to rotate back to Holman. That little cut through provides just a hair of confusion. Muller's late getting out on Campbell, who finishes a beautiful placement there on the left-hander Krebs.
And when Campbell stops, I think the Whips think he's going to exchange as a passer. But my point on Holman, how many times do you have a quarter of play and Holman doesn't have a shot? You're asking me, like, how did the Cannons get involved? Like, Holman and Knowlton touches.
Yeah, but they just didn't have the ball that whole quarter. Like, Kurst, they ask a lot of him. He sees a lot of rubber.
Defensively, Brian Holman emphasizing just trust each other, whether you're sliding or not sliding. It's been a mess defensively for the Cannons in that first quarter.
Here's Zed. The jump shot goes. Oh, he is feeling it.
You might want to change the matchup there. I just don't. Currently, he's just going at Van Raphorst. And you might need to put Epple or Young on Williams because he's feasting here. He drives him up this left side. You know the question mark's coming. That is signature Zed Williams. He's not shooting that lefty.
No.
I mean, we've seen him score this year, so no total disrespect. But, like, he's rolling back. You know that move is coming, and yet you still cannot stop it because you didn't turn him earlier. You got to force that at goal line extended.
You don't let him get to goal line extended. If you let him get to goal line extended, that's going to happen. And what Zed Williams does on that dodge is he's so patient, and he's just waiting for Van Raphorst to overcommit. And if he stays there long enough and he pauses, eventually he's going to feel that topside pressure.
And this is where, if you're Maryland, just lean on that matchup. Like, don't mess around. He's got 4 goals. Go right back to it.
About 9 touches, 8 shots for Zed Williams.
And if you make a switch with Epple, Epple's a lefty on the righty.
Now it's Rambo. Malone at the top, shot clock expires.
Yeah, I just think you got to go right back to Williams.
But do you know what I'm saying? If you're Boston, you have Epple the lefty, you could put him on Zed.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
he's on Rambo right now. He's covered Rambo a ton over his career.
There's a familiarity there.
Yeah, but today you need him over there.
Yeah.
The rookie Vardaro. Kavanaugh now operating from goal line extended. Knowlton will chase down the backup.
We talk about how familiar Zappatello is with Kavanaugh. Do you see, though, the technique of Zappatello and that subtle little poke that disrupts that that shot by Kavanaugh. He's always in the right place at the right time with his stick.
Still on him here. Kavanaugh finds some space, misses behind the back.
Is it just me, or did Nolting look a little? He's got a little limp to him. Like
Yeah. He's not going
Something
full
happened.
tilt to try to get top side. Dunn's trailing him, which is
Something
interesting.
happened on that last touch.
Shot clock under 5. Zapatello will start the break for the Whips.
Watch out for Kavanaugh.
Yeah, watch out.
There he is.
He's a shark in the open field.
Kavanaugh looks fast too. Like there's like a big jump in his step.
Maybe his hamstring finally healed.
Groin. Yeah, he's had a groin injury. He's listed on the injury list.
There's Patra, hounded by Goodrich. Another local kid, played his college lacrosse at Towson. Ethan Rawl on the run. Now it's Nolting. How much pep does he have in his step?
And good scout there by Canis defensively. Whipsnakes ran that same action yesterday for Patra. They were organized and prepared for it. I still think they should have gone back to Williams.
Missed Holman on the pass. Kavanaugh did. Mazzone couldn't scoop the ground ball.
That's a slash.
Yeah. Holman?
Yes.
Over and back.
Did you think that was a slash?
Hold on. They're
Where's the flag?
It should have been over and back, because it doesn't
Rambo's
matter if there's
hot.
possession.
He got slashed.
There was a deflection, which then would nullify that. That's where.
Oh.
One.
Yeah,
and two.
that's a blatant slash.
Yeah.
Who did you say was upset, Quint?
Rambo.
Jim Stagnita, Rambo. Whipsnakes apparently scooped it for possession.
No flag? Stagnita screaming at Matty Palem. And now the shot clock is down to 2. And Matt Dunn's got it for Maryland.
Good on-ball pressure there by Puglisi.
Puglisi gets rewarded with a shot for 2, and he bounces it home.
Do you remember in the first quarter I said Roman can shoot? Roman can shoot. You give him time and room, he will make you pay. First it's the turnover.
Look at this lift right there, that on-ball pressure. And Matt Dunn, who's been sneaky in transition this season, and you just love seeing Puglisi get rewarded, right? The great on-ball defense, you run the field, and yeah, you deserve, you get that 2-point shot because of what you did at the other end.
And remember we talk about arc awareness? Like that was arc awareness. He didn't take the extra 2-3 steps. Just the torque too. If you watch Roman in college at the University of Maryland, you watch him in shooting drills, you watch him in game. I've seen that hammer so many times. If you give him time and room, yes, he is the one short stick D midi on this team. You don't want him in settled offensive sets, but if you give him the ball in transition, he can absolutely hammer it.
And that's Dunn's 4th point of the season.
And the shot selection notable
Most in the
too.
league for a close defender, Quint.
A shorty who's not going to shoot the ball near 100 miles an hour. That stick side bouncer is your best friend. It's a tricky shot for goaltenders. He put it out in front of the crease. Kurse got some movement, but it skipped over his stick. So a stick side bouncer for a shorty, a marginal shooter at the high school or college level is not a bad shot.
Puglisi's first 2-pointer of the year. He had a couple of them last season. And the Cannons need a timeout. Stags might still be protesting that non-slash. Can you help me understand that one?
I understand that. Hey, come to me too. I'll help you out.
Why wasn't that a slash?
Kind of an out-of-body experience right now for the Cannons.
I mean, I thought it was a blatant
Awful.
slash. Quint, you thought that was a slash, right?
Turnover City on offense. They've only hit on 1-2 defensively. Their slide mechanics are way off. They may have to turn to the 2 today to creep into the 7-goal
get
margin.
Their stars involved. Holman, 0 shots. Nolting, 1 shot. Campbell, 1 shot. That's not the formula to win if you're the Cannons.
To me, it's been more about their defense. They came in today second in the league, giving up 11 scores per game. We're there, obviously.
Yep.
Well, Kirst is 84% on the season against 2-point shots.
Best in the league.
So they're best shooting them and best stopping them. And that's a big reason why they can get back into a game in a hurry. Remember, folks, last week they trailed 9-5 against Denver. They won that game 12-10. Nolting has Dunn hung up. 10 to shoot. Feet in front. Behind the back. Off the iron.
That was a great catch by Aslanian because that is a tough ball to catch when you're on the crease with pressure on. Small window.
You saw that last possession where Nolting had his defender hung up and was just kind of gingerly. I mean, you could see it.
You could tell he's not right.
He's not right. He's not right.
Holman for 2. Krebs all over that bouncer. Gobbled it up. That is his 3rd save.
It's his first shot of the game. He's been successful with the high bouncers this year. Not that time on Krebs, though. We've seen that high bouncer a ton.
That was a casual save by Krebs. I mean, he didn't blink like.
Alone.
Krebs had 19 saves yesterday, a career high. He was 76%, up to 4 today. Whip still leading by 7. Here's Zed Williams, who's got as many goals as the Cannons do as a team. Trying to turn the corner. Here comes Rawl on the slide. Williams flips it back toward the arc. Eppel pops it in the air, and Van Rapport secures it.
Good adjustment by Cannons, but I mean says a lot. If you're sliding to a close defender, basically when his man gets to the goal line extended spot.
This is more like it from Nolting. Playing bully ball. Lefty shot. No backup for Boston. Zappitello wins the race.
Man, that's a breakdown spatially, whether that's Holman or Kavanaugh. One of those 2 players had the backup responsibility.
Out of sync, right? We've seen the yin and the yang of this season this weekend.
2-bomb from Chanachuk. That's going to leave a mark. Patra picks it up, spins and scores. Woo! Getting fancy for the rookie out of Ontario.
He just does a little bit of everything. Wings, defense, transition, initiating. And here, he cleans up the garbage. Free ball right in the middle of the field. No one's going to pick it up. I'll gobble it up, and I'll bury it. All Whips at home.
Well, no school has produced more pros, at least recently, than the University of Maryland under John Tillman. You see all these guys are playing for the Whipsnakes right now, from Terps to Whips. Heacock and Rambo, best friends, reunited this season. Muller, part of that all. Terps, close defense. Puglisi, Khan not on the roster right now, but Zappitello joining. Chorus joining as rookies this year. They've got 9 active players on the roster, 17 overall across the league. 9 of them are playing for the Whipsnakes this weekend. And hey, speaking of former Maryland Terrapins, former NFL tight end Vernon Davis is in the house, and he's on the field with Q.
Yeah, he's a native of Dunbar in D.C., a Terp, a Bronco, a 49er, finished up with the Redskins. And you're sporting the home colors, Vernon. What's it mean to be out here supporting some former Terps?
Yeah, I think going to University of Maryland, and this is a Maryland team, so being here with them, it means a lot to me, my family, just the community in general. I mean, just supporting these guys.
You're sitting field side with the Rabel brothers. What are your reactions to the level of athlete you're seeing out on the field?
I think these guys, you have to have a unique skill set to be able to play this game. I mean, these guys show it all from basketball, football. You mix both of them together. I mean, that's what you're pretty much seeing out here. I mean, this game reminds me a lot of that. Being able to sit over on this sideline and watch close up it just gives me a lot of insight on what this game is all about.
You would have been a great defender as a tight end, a guy who could move, a guy who could use his body, but a guy who could also play some offense. Do you gravitate to certain positions when you watch this game?
Yeah, no, I do. I would love to play in the middle of the field because that's the guy who usually plays defense and offense, like you said. I think that would be great. That's what I would want to do because being able to play offense is important to be able to play defense too, and basketball. You know what I mean? But football, my sport being tight end is always to put up points, so that could work in my favor.
Lacrosse is basically just full field basketball with sticks. Yeah. It's like 6-on-6. It's really the same. It's really the same thing.
No, it is, and the eye coordination that you have to be able to catch the ball, it's impeccable. I mean, to be able to see these guys do that. Like I said, you have to have a unique skill set to be able to play this game.
We're heading out to Denver next week. It's your old stomping grounds, man. You crushed it for the Broncos. Where should we hang out next week?
Yeah, I think you should hang out Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek? Yeah, Cherry Creek's a good place to hang out. That's where DeMarcus Ware and I used to hang out there a lot.
Nice. Great to see you. Thanks for coming down, Vernon, and good luck to you. You look great.
Yeah, Vernon Davis could play anywhere, right?
LSM.
Yeah.
LSM. Like Earhart. Like Mike Earhart running the field.
There's Chorus on the takeaway, another one of those two-way guys for the Whipsnakes.
Chorus ran out of gas. I mean, he had a clean 4-on-3 fast break. He didn't play yesterday. He had all the green in front of him.
The Cadillac didn't get enough gas mileage there.
I think the humidity, he was like, instead of running, he was swimming there. But we're officially in danger zone here for Boston. You're down 8. We've seen this yesterday. Right now, this is the largest deficit of the season for Boston. You've got to get something going to chip away to get this to a workable margin by halftime.
The problem,
6?
Yeah,
get it to 6 for halftime?
Quint and RB, the problem when you're down 8 to the Whips, it's not a normal 8 because you have Joe Nardella. Where are you going to make up those possessions? You're going to ask Colin Kirsten to stand on his head. He's got to steal probably 2, 3, 5 saves, like ridiculous stops from now until the end of the game. And where do you get those middle of the field possessions? You need your caused turnovers.
It's not face-offs. No. And they've done a great job preventing Boston runouts and twos in transition. And the other thing is they've stayed out of the penalty box. Boston is lethal for hitting twos on the power play, and it's been a really disciplined effort for the Whipsnakes. We find out in the second half how much gas is in the tank, but so far, this team continues to surge in the right direction.
Disciplined defense has been the story all season. 7 penalty minutes. That's the fewest across the league.
By far.
By far.
Yeah.
And then 100%.
And they're perfect.
And they're perfect in the penalty kill.
Yep. Garrett Epple leads the league in caused turnovers. He's going to have to get a couple in the second half to negate the possession discrepancy with Nardella.
Here's TJ Malone. Works on Bubba Fairman, another former Maryland guy playing for Boston. Malone draws 2, finds the open man in Patra with 2 goals already. Here's Dordovic. His first shot of the game came about a minute ago on a wild attempt. Spins out of trouble, shoots and scores! Tucker Dordovic. How does he do it?
He does it because he can care less about defensive pressure. He has a nose for the cage, and he can have 1, 2, 3 players draped all over him. We saw it yesterday. Like, you're never safe when you're playing defense against Tucker Dordovic. Those are 2 elite short stick D-middies, and Fairman and Goodrich who attack Tucker. First it's the trail check, then he splits the 2 of them. This is improv, it's strength, and he gets checked. That's Tucker Dordovic.
Puts this ball on his chest, almost like he's saluting during the national anthem, and backs his way through that double team.
There's 1,000 youth coaches right now just hoping that their players didn't see that.
You see the double move the ball.
Guy shoots it a third of his touches. So, I mean, Cannon sent the slide. It's not like they didn't try to get the ball out of his stick. But if he sees a short stick, he just doesn't care.
He changes this team. They missed him. Now there's been a lot of little chess pieces and moves by Jim Stagnita.
He was the last one. He was the last one.
He gives you the elite
Anderson,
guy.
Patra. Anderson, Patra.
He's the last one. And, you know, as those guys have emerged, I feel like that's also when we've seen Williams and Rambo, their play elevate as well.
Because they're not sliding to those guys when they get off the bus. They have others to account for. TJ Malone's quarterbacking, and Dordovic's up top, who demands a double.
Krebs didn't see it after he made the save on Nolting. And Mazzone cleans it up for Maryland. You know, when these teams played back in week 2 in Charlotte, it was Cannons 13, Whipsnakes 9. That was the final. Here in the first half, Maryland's already got 13 goals. They ended up with 12 yesterday, but they had 11, and then they kind of took their foot off the gas against Philly. That was after they had 18 against the Redwoods in San Diego. This offense is humming. Anderson lost it, collided with Trainer. This is Jake Pulver. A minute left in the second quarter.
Anderson should have moved that ahead to Chanenchuk.
You could have some matchups now if you're the Cannons.
Kavanaugh, Nolting. Up top, Trainer. Tried to get it to Aslani and deflected, so it stays here.
And now Maryland can bail out. Patra can get off. Chanenchuk's still stuck.
Yeah, Chanenchuk 1 in black. Defending Matt Campbell right now. Nolting sweeps across, shoots. Krebs makes the save. Dunn stabs it out of the air. Whips on the run. It's Puglisi. He's got 1 2-pointer already. Rambo surveys, skips it. Malone dodges. Williams on the doorstep. Oh, baby. The Whipsnakes firing on all cylinders.
He never misses from there.
This is beautiful, unselfish lacrosse. This is one after the other. Good decision, easy decision, well-executed play. It starts with Puglisi just making the forward pass to Rambo. He surveys, he skips it to Malone, little face dodge, and then Williams is like, is there anybody around me? All right, I'll finish it.
Did you see the deception? His head is high, his shoulders are high, and then he just stings it low. That was so subtle. That looked like the Boston Cannons PLL juniors this morning, right? Coming down on a break. 1, 2, 3, tic-tac-toe.
That possession shows me that these guys truly don't care who scores and who gets the assists.
No, and that all started with Krebs making a save down low, and I'm standing next to Brian Holman, Cannons coach. He says, not at his feet. Not at his feet.
There it is. Ryan Trenner goes upstairs and beats Krebs. A much-needed goal for the Cannons with under 10 seconds left in the second quarter.
Trenner now has a couple of big goals for the Cannons. He came to play. He comes out of the box here. Did you see the subtle? We talk about the subtle movements from Zed Williams. Putting the stick in front of him when he feels that trail check. It's like he's got eyes behind his head. Trenner smells pay dirt and continues right out of the box. He's flying. Shot out of a cannon. He understands, all right, I got to step in the substitution game, but I got a guy on my back.
Tucci wins the faceoff. Gets out of trouble, shoots for 2. That might be the final shot of the first half. Beat in front. Beat the buzzer. It's Connor Kirst, and it counts. 2 goals in the last 10 seconds of the first half for Boston. They're not dead yet.
Seen this twice now. Zed at the end of the first quarter. Now Kirst answering the bell. Let's look at the clock here. Does he get it off before 0? Yes,
sir.
Easy
yes, sir.
goal.
Yep. Connor Kirst scores against his former team. His head coach, Brian Holman, on the field with Q.
Uncharacteristic first half. I mean, you give up 14 goals. Where do you start to make fixes and changes and adjustments?
I don't know, man. I don't know what they did in their locker room.
They've gotten pretty good, haven't they?
They're really good. So they're giving us a handful.
Yeah.
All right. It's as simple as just starting over, right? There's nothing you can do about that score right there. All right, you just got to go in. We got to kind of catch our breath a little bit. And we had 2 nice opportunities there. We scored. We've had a couple other goalies made some saves. So it's part of the game, right? Scoreboard's got to become inconsequential, which it is to us all the time. Right, that's something we preach from day one. So we'll see if we live up to our word, right?
Is Asher okay?
Asher's fine. He's just not playing very well right now.
Okay. I was wondering about his health. He's kind of, you know.
All good. He can play. We all can play better. It's not Asher. You know that.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
It's Maryland homecoming week, and the Whipsnakes are celebrating it. Home field advantage exists at Homewood Field, 14-6 at the break.
And Holman kind of struggling. This might be the Pat Cavanaugh kind of like be everywhere. Like, yeah, you're starting on the left side, but just be amorphous and just go all over the field.
That's a bear. That's a bear. We got to double that. The words of Jim Stagnita as that matchup transpired with Cavanaugh against
Yeah,
the
I thought it was
shorty.
a great pick in terms of the location, because if you don't have your pick defense sorted out.
There's Patra right back at you.
That's ridiculous offense by the Whipsnakes. They have upgraded their offense, I mean, dramatically from 5 weeks ago. This is beautiful.
I was about to say, if you don't have your pick defense sorted out, if you're the Whips at goal line extended, you have problems, but you have this offense to bail you out. And Patra has been terrific in terms of his inside play. I mean, he's owning the paint today.
And it starts with Dordovic. He's the party starter. He dodges him a short stick. As we have seen, you have to slide to that. And instead of trying to split a double, they send a pole, so Dordovic just moves the ball along. This offense is playing unselfish. They're making the easy plays. I mean, the old school Whipsnakes of hit singles, right? We are seeing that in action all weekend.
But I feel like they're more relentless with it. Like they come at so many different angles at you.
Yes. Because you got the Zed, Malone, Rambo look from the bottom. Now they can equal that from the top as well.
Here's Nolting from X. Done all over him, and Krebs scoops it. That assist was Malone, his 4th of the day, so 4 dimes in both games this weekend for the rookie.
We've talked about all the tinkering Stagnita has done, and the first move, the first domino to fall was making Malone the quarterback and giving him the keys to the car and basically saying, okay, you are now the distributor of this offense. And he's always kind of been searching for that true ex-quarterback. Malone is kind of the quarterback all over the place.
That's a good point. And if you watch him in college at Penn State for Jeff Tambroni, I saw him orchestrating up top all the time as the major facilitator, as the guy who's getting it to the wings from all different spots. He's a chameleon quarterback.
Here he is again, sweeping around the arc.
Here he is up top. Like,
always
he's just as
Yeah,
comfortable there as behind.
He loves that high
Low
lefty
shot
wing.
clock, he lost it. He's got it. Shot clock nearly expired. He got it on Cage. Is it a reset?
That's going to go back to the Whipsnakes on a full reset.
The Cannons had possession for a second. They might have to look at
Matty
this.
Palin wants to
I
look
don't know
at
if this
it, I
got to
believe.
Kirst or not. I think this might have gotten caught up in the wash potentially.
I think so. All right, so now they set it to 32 for the Whips. Here comes Dordovic dodging down the alley. Lefty shot. Kirst the save. A flag comes in behind the play around midfield. And it's going to be, I think, against the Cannons. Dordovic yeah.
Took a shot to the face. This young man who injured his foot in Albany training camp and was out of the lineup until recently.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's got it right in the jaw.
Rocked.
Cannons foul. 1 minute. Unnecessary roughness. That play is under review.
against Van
I feel like
Raphorst.
Dordovic almost ran into him. I don't think there was anything malicious by Van Raphorst. It was his shoulder.
The issue, Carcaterra, is the lowering of the head.
And Dordovic's kind of trajectory starts going lower as he's lowering his shoulder. So they're going to get him for something here.
This looks like a dental issue with that hit to the jaw. And they're going to bring out some more serious help here as we'll stop things down. The field, the sports medicine specialists on the field right now have signaled to the corner towards the ambulance, so I'm not sure.
That last look, it looked high. It
Yeah,
looked high.
It looks.
I saw some blood, and it could be a concussion also.
Oh, he's definitely bleeding. It looks like I think you're right, Q. Something with his jaw area.
The first look, it almost looked like Van Raphorst was holding back, but on that look, I think he's going to do some time.
Well, they're looking at it right now on the review, and they're checking on Tucker Dordovic, the sophomore phenom for the Whips. We'll take a break and have an update for you. All right, so Tucker Dordovic walked off the field with some help. He left not toward the bench area, to the other side of the field. So, of course, our first concern is we hope Tucker Dordovic is okay. You're going to see Kate Van Raphorst hit him in the jaw-mouth area, and they just finished up the review of the penalty here. RB, what do you think we're going to see here?
There's helmet-to-helmet contact, and it's after the release of the shot. So I think this is going to get escalated.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Van Raphorst for 1 minute, and then they're going to give 43 trainer an additional 30 seconds for some sort of violation. Let's hear if Maddie's mic is working.
After review, we got 2 fouls on the play. Cannon's number 43, 30-second technical push. Cannon's number 77, 1 minute contact to the head, locked in. So Cannons are down 2 men for the first 30 seconds, 1 man for the last 30 seconds.
And you know, to the point about intent, ultimately it was helmet to helmet with Van Raphorst on Dordovic, and in real time it didn't look like Van Raphorst was kind of like going into that. That's where the push from trainer might have propelled Dordovic into him to a degree.
That's a good point, absolutely. This is the worst power play in the league. Maryland Whipsnakes, 26%. Dordovic's their outside threat.
They were 1 for 2 yesterday in the win over the Water Dogs. Here's Williams surveying. They're up 2 men. Cannonchuck, saved by Kirst. Did that hit the side of the net? Either way, Cannon's ball. And that is huge for Boston. Big collision on the ride. A flag comes in. Now 2 flags.
Push it from behind, go. There's no discussion. You. Whipsnakes foul number 7, 30-second technical push.
Boston's perked up down here. They're just benches alive, more communication, playing with better energy.
Thought maybe Zed got
In
him.
Malone's defense, it might have been Zed.
You.
Palem at Sammy's last night.
Hunting a 2 now for the Cannons. If you're the Whipsnakes, you are really pressing out and defending that arc. No 2s on this power play.
Well, it's still going to be 5-on-5. So a lot of green.
For 30.
I don't think you want to hold necessarily. I mean, be patient.
I like
but
the dodge in a 5-on-5 set.
Explore.
Kavanaugh against Zapatello. Back to the right shoulder.
Now here you wait.
Here comes Campbell. Both penalties released. We're back to 6-on-6. Drenner, Holman, that's a sweet spot. Whistles it high.
Even.
That, by the way, was the first penalty minute of TJ Malone's career, and it seemed like he didn't know where the penalty box was. He was lost. as Lanian's got 10 to shoot. Puglisi defends him as Lanian might have forced that. Krebs makes the save, and that's Whipsnakes' ball. Now, of course, guys, the primary concern is Tucker Dordovic's health, but how does it change the Whipsnakes' offense? We've seen them play without him a bunch this year.
We have, but they've been at their best with him.
Right.
Like you look at the last 3 games that he's been in the lineup. I mean, he's been a complete difference maker. Even when he's not scoring, he just garners so much attention from behind the arc, and then his ability to dodge one-on-one. You feel bad for him because he missed so much of the season with the foot injury. Now, that hit to the head, it did not look good for his mouth.
Heacock, right to Kirst.
Clean saves, create transition.
Good outlet. Here's Bubba Fairman. A two-way midi.
Hasn't scored yet this season.
Kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
He was a highly coveted attackman coming out of high school in Utah. Played D-mid for John Tillman at Maryland.
He's playing a little bit of cat and mouse game with Heacock. They're going to have an advantage in the sub game here.
There it is.
Yeah, that was a great play by him.
Yeah,
Watch your
Drenner
back.
sprinting out, takes the 2.
It's those little subtle moves, right, that can give your team a jump from the restraining box and get a numbers game.
Cannons and Archers, those are the 2 teams in my mind that create the most advantages out of the sub game.
Oh, Nolting, the no-look feed to Kavanaugh. Now it's Vardaro, another rookie. 8 seconds on the timer. It'll be Nolting against Dunn. Oh, wow. Nolting!
Wow.
How does he thread the needle? He finds Connor Kirst for the slam.
That is dealing, RB.
That's
pressure on him.
Does that make Connor Kirst Aaron Gordon? Jokic finds him for the dunk?
This is chemistry, touch, and accuracy. I mean, this is awareness of the defender is just not, has no awareness of the ball, right? No awareness for chorus. A heads-up play, usually that is just kind of eye contact, right? You're spotting eyes, you see it, and then you're like, yeah, it's coming. So Kirst just knows, I don't need to flash a stick. I'm floating to space, and he's going to throw me open.
There's not many players in the league that can make that pass, but credit Connor Kirst, too, because he's actually like backpedaling into space. He's not cutting to the ball. He's cutting away from it.
It was surprising to me in terms of doing prep for this game. Connor Kirst is their second leading scorer in the midfield position.
Well, he had a great weekend up in Boston early July. I thought he was a major difference down the stretch, closing out a victory.
But you think of him being kind of this two-way guy. I think they're leaning on him a little bit more offensively, and he's rewarding. You got Patra.
Patra outside the arc. He has a hat trick today. Look at Eppel. Just picked it clean.
I think in the offseason, Brian Holman was committed to making Kirst an offensive player. Like, he played two-way for this team in the Whips, and he played a lot of short stick D-midi. Holman brought him in for those kind of moments, and Kirst was an attackman in college at Rutgers.
An inadvertent flag.
No flag. No flag. He was out of bounds. Oh, I thought we had offside.
This is the time of game where we've seen the doubleheader teams hit a wall. So just keep your eyes on the fitness level of this Maryland team as they try to protect this 7-goal differential. How much gas?
We might have just seen Matty Palem hit a wall. He blew a tire when he was trying to pick up that flag. Long weekends for these officials. Here's Kirst against his former team. 2 goals. Nolting spins it through Drenner. From the wing, finds Vardaro. Krebs with a good effort tried to win the backup. It stays here, though.
Yeah, Vardaro's got to finish that. It's a great redodge and feed by Drenner.
4 of the last 5 have gone to the Cannons. Chipping into that lead. 3 to shoot. Vardaro can't find Holman. Krebs takes it.
You could hear Stagnita from up here basically.
Flag down against Boston by the substitution box.
That's usually a too many men or offside violation.
Peacock. Kerst saw it all the way, and now we'll get the call.
No. Cannon's foul number 22, 30-second technical, offsides.
Love the command he has in the game. No.
Right.
Like, that's how I'm going to approach you. Next time you ask me a question, you say no, not even give you eye contact. No.
Okay, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Was Palem at Sammy's last night?
I didn't see him. Guy's so skinny, he eats like a bird.
There's two Sammys.
Ah.
There's Sammy's Hunt Valley and there's Sammy's downtown.
Yeah.
And if Sammy's there, the portions continue to flow
That's where
all
I
night
was.
long.
That's why Kark was a little slow to get going this morning. Patra saved by Kerst, who's starting to put together a nice second half.
Yeah, just one goal for the Whips in this third quarter. So Cannons defensively have done their job. They just haven't been able to break through this Whipsnakes defense.
Kerst has been a difference maker too.
9 saves for him. Power plays
so
over.
good against outside shots. Dude, he's best in the league against the two. He allowed a 2 today against Roman, but he doesn't guess. He's not jumpy. I just love the way he approaches outside shots.
Kerst saving above 84% on 2s, best in the league. Kavanaugh lost the pass from Nolting. Krebs has it. Here comes Colin Squires.
Yeah, to your point earlier, Quint, this is kind of where like reality sets in for the Whipsnakes.
Yeah, you just feel it, right?
You got done as a trailer far side.
Now the good news, RB, is that you got Joe Nardella facing off. You got Krebs, who has not given up a bad goal all weekend. And Jimmy Stagnita is very well aware, he's cognizant of it, and he's asked his guys to slow it down a little bit on offense.
Malone. And Kerst has another.
10 on the day for Kerst. But in this second half, he's been the difference maker with the Whips only with 1.
This is where you go if you're Kerst. Go.
Against the shorty, it's Patra. They have him trapped. Kerst left hand, count it. Hat trick for Connor Kerst.
Good call, RB, and I like how Pat Kavanaugh got out of his way.
It's the defense to offense, and there's these moments where it's not a clean 6-on-6 yet. So there's just a lot of green. And Zapatello tries to slide, but his approach angle actually enables Kerst to roll back. Patra, who should be sitting on that backside hip, overruns the play, allowing Kerst to roll back to the middle. So that's that defense to offense two-way ability and good identification by Kerst and even better execution.
If you saw where he finally released the ball from his stick, that's where Pat Kavanaugh originally was. Pat Kavanaugh went high to create more space, so when he rolled, he had all that spot to hit it.
Zed Williams, 36 in black, was getting some look over by the medical staff. He's back on the field now after sitting out about maybe 5 or so
out
minutes.
Of the box there. Anderson's been playing attack. Now here's Zed, who had 5 goals in the first half. Finds Malone, sharp angle, Kerst again, 11 saves.
He's feeling it.
Yeah.
He's feeling it.
Second half, he's got 6 saves, only 1 goal allowed. He's been a huge catalyst for this comeback.
Clock.
There goes Campbell down the alley. That one never made it to Krebs.
Dunn just soaked that. Didn't even rub it.
Matt Dunn came into this weekend with 7 blocked shots. No one else had blocked more than 4 in the entire league. Long pass finds Rambo, and they won't take the shot.
I think the Whips need to be careful. I don't think they could just play slow balls. As gassed as they might be, Quint, this fourth quarter is telling.
They got to get to 16 or 17 goals probably to ice this one away,
you're playing
right?
a team that's mastered the 2 ball. You're never safe against Boston. Matt Campbell, Marcus Holman, Chris Aslanian. They'll drop it from deep and will make you pay.
We go to the fourth quarter and the Cannons have a little life. They were getting worked earlier. They've scored 5 of the last 6 goals, and it's a 6-goal margin as we go to the final 12 minutes. Nardella against Curse after Tucci, the violation. Nardella wins the faceoff, but can they hang out of the ball, and can they get their offense moving again?
They can't take their foot off the gas entirely, then they look like they're running out of gas.
Yeah, you play too slow, they'll bite you.
Yeah, where do you get some juice?
Maybe from the rookie Levi Anderson, under 10 to shoot. The Whips have missed their last 9 shots. Anderson to Malone, bouncer. Rambo wins the backup. Colin Curse thought he had it. Just 4 to shoot on the restart. And they'll take the shot clock violation. See, that's the thing, is you can win the faceoff, but in 30 seconds, the other team has it.
Yeah, I was a little surprised maybe with Kirst out there facing off that they didn't go full complement of offensive personnel on the wings.
Aslanian for 2, Krebs with the save.
And that's what Maryland has to be ultra aware of.
Yes.
Like,
2-ball city.
Yes. That is the recipe for a comeback if you're the Cannons. In transition, in the sub game, and on the power play.
Krebs is comfortable, though. We've seen a couple like nonchalant type saves. Like, all right, here we go.
Totally, but like, let's not
bank on that.
Yeah, like.
There's Malone. He's got half a step. TJ Malone, what an afternoon and what a weekend for the rookie. 4 assists in both games.
Right.
That's Patra. He's got a hat trick today. On that inside roll, Curse makes the save, denied him from point-blank range.
Patra is going to be a player for a while in this league. He's shown us enough. His inside game there, he's beating a defender, getting underneath off the dribble. This is a size discrepancy in a matchup. You think they're going to be sliding quickly and supporting Chanichuk.
Holman, Trainer. Now Campbell. Nobody could see it. Campbell's got it. It's turned into a beautiful day here. We had some weather earlier, both days. Now the sun is shining on Homewood Field. 15 to shoot, Vardaro rips the twine, and the rookie makes it a 5-goal game.
The Princeton product, so comfortable in this offense, given his familiarity with offensive coordinator Jim Mitchell. You're going to see the quickness and his ability to get to the middle of the field. The good things happen when you get to the middle, that late slide in support. And after missing one earlier, he makes sure of burying it.
There's different ways to use acceleration, right? Some guys just like to plant their foot and kind of go hard. Vardaro, when you watch him too, that was like vintage Alexander Vardaro. He kind of jump pops into it. Like he goes on a defender, he's a smaller guy, and you see him kind of like pop off his back foot and he jumps in the air, and that kind of gets him going.
Nardella slow to get up and got his helmet knocked off.
We'll watch that.
Things heating up on that sideline as we welcome in Lizzie Colson, former Maryland midfield and midfield defender, Team USA player who's in town for a month basically with Athletes Unlimited, which is professional women's lacrosse taking place up at Sparks at USA headquarters. Lizzie, you're here supporting a bunch of your Maryland teammates and alum. What's it like to be here?
I mean, anytime I can come back to Homewood, I'll take it. We won a national championship here in 2019, so it's very special to be back and to see the Maryland alum play. I love it.
That was quite a scene. What's the competition been like up at US Lacrosse headquarters? Athletes Unlimited, it's 3 games a week. times 4 weeks. It's pretty intense. The format changes, so you pick up different teammates each week. What's it like for the athletes?
It's definitely a grind. Those 4 weeks are fast and hard and very competitive with 3 games a week, but the competition is so good, and every week is unique in the way that you get a new team, so you're playing with.
Great goaltending, Taylor Moreno.
Great goaltending then.
Athletes. To see it in person last summer.
The one player who really stands out for me, too, is Sam Apuzzo. I mean, she is the ultimate.
Bardaro for 2. He just scored from inside the arc. We're under 8 minutes now. Maryland has scored 1 goal in the last 16:30.
This is a boxing match, and one guy's bringing the flurries here to end this fight. And the other boxer is going to be on the ropes, kind of bobbing and weaving, and that's the Whipsnakes.
Well, Q, they almost knocked him out in the first half. They had 14 goals. This game was 14-4.
You think about it, too. The fast start was critical, right? Because of the lack of gas they'll have in the tank down the stretch.
Jimmy Stagnito just saying, Mike, take your time here. Mike, take your time here.
Talking to Chan and Chuck, 1 in black. They've worn black 2 days in a row. It can't be easy in this.
Too many men.
Too many men.
It's 7 right there.
Unforced error in the substitution game.
Fatigue makes cowards of us all. You start making mental mistakes when you get tired.
It's not something you see very often from a Jim Stagnita coach team. This team is the Yankees of lacrosse, the PLL. They won the first 2 championships in 19 and 20. Drenner's shot deflected. Kurse couldn't pick it up. Whipsnakes have it. Tim Muller. But they have been really the blue blood of the PLL. And they're playing really well right now, as well as any team in the league.
And I thought, honestly, after watching a couple weeks of early season action, I thought the tide was turning.
It seemed like a rebuild.
Yeah.
It seemed like a rebuilding year based off
now.
of how last season ended and how the beginning of the season started. I thought the most important win of the first half of the season was their win over the Water Dogs in Philly. You look at the roster that weekend, a lot of those guys are not playing today.
And the rookie production, I think with the Whipsnakes and the Outlaws has been notable. You look at the rookies on this team that made an impact. TJ Malone, Ajax Zapatello, Patra, right?
The trade for Levi Anderson.
Yeah, took him from the Redwoods. Jack Corus in the lineup. They got
undrafted.
5-6 guys. So when we're making these assessments week 2, like, we're not allowing these rookies to grow. But when do you see 5 rookies on a team?
Well, specifically with Corus, who's undrafted, and then Anderson, who was drafted by another team.
With the Outlaws and the Whipsnake, you see these guys.
As Lanian, a freight train, breaks a stick and scores.
He's hammering it. He's got that big left hand, and I said teasing into the 4th quarter. You got to worry about the outside threats of Campbell. Islanian taking a check, breaking a stick, hitting the back of the net. The Boston Cannons have been a juggernaut offensively. They're not going anywhere.
Welcome back to the PLL on ESPN, presented by Whirlpool. You like that one?
He's still top tier under the helmet. Yesterday we had him saying to Coach Tierney, like, it's hot in those pants. And then so today with Colin Kurse, like, you trying out for your indoor goalie or what? Like, it's
Rambo.
Is that a mind game, or is it just who he is?
It's just he's so he's so authentically himself. It's just like you don't know if that conversation is in the middle of a lacrosse game or just like hanging out. Like,
he's the guy you want to sit next to after a game, recap and chill.
Yeah.
It's Rambo.
Zed trying to get back involved. He had 5 goals.
You were talking about them manufacturing a goal like they need one, right? Just to exhale. That could have been one.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think if you're Whipsnakes, you can just run your offense. I think you need to pull something out of your bag. So they ran that play for Patra yesterday. They've got this nice little Rambo Anderson set piece that they like. Like, I don't think you can just trot your guys out and run your offense. You've got to manufacture a look. You've got to manufacture a goal, because I think you're going to need one more.
They have missed 16 shots in a row. They've scored once since halftime. Campbell on the feed, Kavanaugh the finish. 3-goal game.
RB, it's a 2-possession game with the best 2-ball shooting team in the league.
And Kavanaugh, I mean, you talk about following the slide. You talk about following a rotation. He's shot out of a cannon here. He sees Zappatello slide upfield, and he goes at this gap aggressively. Like, if there's another rotation, good luck. Like you're not catching up with that burst of speed.
You know what I love about that, too? How hard he shot the ball, too. This is a natural right-handed player who's playing the left side. But that goal in itself, how you follow the ball, you're cutting, you're catching in one and shooting like that, that guy's left hand's as good as his right.
Face-off advantage belongs to Maryland, 18-9. But they cannot just sit on it here. More than 4 minutes left. Their lead has been cut all the way to 3.
And they won that back towards the defensive side, so they're already sitting at 10 on the shot clock.
Malone, who tried to get fancy on the crease.
That was really the only shot he had because his offhand was kind of jammed on the defender's stick.
And it's a shot clock violation.
But if we keep doing this, if the Whips just keep going down, violating, and they're going to be violating off of 32, because if Nardella's winning off a Boston goal, that's not a ton of clock they're using.
It's not enough, especially against this team.
It's not a clean 52, because if Boston scores, they're going back to the stripe. If Nardella wins, that's 32 seconds.
Here's Vardaro. He's had a nice game. Product of Princeton and Georgetown.
Always say both.
From X, he scores! Folks, this is a 1-possession game. Boston trailed by 10 in the first half.
We saw this coming. How much gas would Maryland have? Alexander Vardaro, the rookie, with a ton of energy. He's playing in one game this weekend. He's leaving it all out on the field. There's the pop again. You see the explosiveness off the dodge. He pops at X and just shot out of a cannon there, and I love how he continues upfield.
And we're focusing so much on the Whipsnakes in terms of being tired offensively. It also happens defensively. Your slides are just a hair too late. Your on-ball pressure just isn't as much.
Tucci springs it free. Squires picks it up. Hey, Quint, from your perspective down on the field, how much of this is because of fatigue?
100%. All the little plays now, the guys in the white jerseys are winning a lot of loose balls. All of a sudden, their defense is flowing and moving. The gaps in the Whipsnakes defense have opened up. And we've seen this repeatedly on these doubleheader weekends. The home team, it's tough to finish off the last 10 minutes.
Only one team has gone 2-0. That was the Atlas back in week 1.
Now, the Cannons did win their second game at home.
Good call. Rambo! Man, they needed it.
King Clutch, right?
Yep.
King Clutch. That's why you have Matt Rambo.
When the game is on the line and you need the big one, you could see Shannon Chuck, the embrace. There's probably like a thank you. We needed that. He just turns the corner and he's such a load. I mean, Kurst actually seems to get a piece of that. But right there, he changes his trajectory. Everything's going towards the corner of the field, and his ability to get his hips and his shoulders downhill towards the goal, that's what makes him so special.
There's no player in this league, when the game's on the line, you want the ball on the stick more than Matt Rambo. I mean, he's built for that moment. As much as we say he's the guy we want to hang out with after a game, that's what makes him great, because he has ice in his veins. He's never rattled.
It ended a streak of 18 straight misses for the Whips.
He was the guy, game-winning goal week 3 at Philadelphia over the Water Dogs.
I mean, go back to the first year of the league, overtime game winner to win the championship, saved by Kurst.
Defend the 2 at all costs right now. If you are the Whips, you need to press out, because you have Nardella. Make them score. If they're going to tie this game,
watch
make
out
them
for
score.
Campbell.
Here he is, top of the key. They just got a piece. Colin Squires might have just saved a 2. Nolting trying to play some bully ball. Back to the right hand, count it. barely any space, but Asher Nolting has his first goal today.
You know, if he's hurt right now, he's doing a pretty good job of playing hurt because we saw an elite feed in the third quarter. And Drew, to your point, bully ball here. This is Matt Dunn. I mean, he is no small dude here. I mean, he's getting into his body, left hand, right hand, changing in that transfer right here. Watch this transfer back to his right hand into the shot. Bam!
It's an elongated rocker step, right? You practice the rocker step, and it's not going to be this picture-perfect thing. He rolls back to his left like it's a question mark. Dunn moves his stick back, and that's what allows Nolting to come back.
Nolting now has 3+ points in all 9 games. Today he's got a goal and 2 assists. Nardella wins a massive face-off. Gets it to Puglisi.
Timeout here.
Stagnated called it. I heard him say it.
Glad he didn't.
Matt Palin, he called it. Matt Palin didn't hear him.
Here.
As good as Nardella is at winning the strike, how good is he getting the ground ball and dealing with pressure, RB? I mean, that's what makes him so special.
Here's Malone. This is where they want it with the rookie.
Having Joe Nardella and negating the 2s, you force them to score 1s, and they just won't have enough time left.
I don't like that. Just do something at the end there, like with 7 or less, just even if you get a reset.
They take the 32-second violation. They sub their guys off. Boston can tie it here.
2 timeouts for Boston.
Best 2-point shooting team in the PLL by efficiency and volume. Will they take one? They're 1 for 7 from outside the arc today. Campbell's the guy. Entered with 5 2-bombs on the season, tops in the league.
Pressing out. Look at him pressing out.
Drenner. Feet inside. Kavanaugh couldn't pick it cleanly. Drenner. Big ground ball from Holman allows Brian Holman to call timeout.
And I know it was deep, but I thought Drenner, I was counting out there. There was 5 guys. Like, where's the 6th?
One huddle.
They snuck Drenner out. He had like a 20-yarder. Like,
yeah.
20-yarder, I get it, but like.
One huddle. O's first. O's on this side. O's on this side. Hard carry down, go back. As he carries down, as I'm cutting down, keep cutting. Push off your guy, and then you're going to run off kind of a double screen here. As Lion's going to try and chip, and he's going to get wide too. So it's for Campbell. Carry back, look for Campbell, but as Lion's going to set up wide here, so Cap, make sure you don't steal his space.
Everyone's thinking about Campbell, though, on that Whipsnakes, too. That's the leader in the league from 2 points.
Keep carrying, kick it across, and try to attack for it, too. Pace in the perimeter.
It's so hard to design a 2-pointer when the other team knows.
But you almost want to play in disarray before timeout.
And that's why they held on, I think.
We're going to fucking hit this thing. All right, let's go. Finish on 1. 3, 2, 1.
Question. If they give you a 1, do you take it, or is it 2 or bust?
I think it's
here?
2 or bust, just given Nardella's. Yeah, where we have seen success is the 2-man game around the arc in a breakdown there, or an over-aggressiveness of like, I've got to stay on this guy, and that allows some sort of throwback or rollback.
Cannons have won 3 in a row. A win today, they move into first in the East. A win for the Whips, they're into the playoffs. All comes down to this possession. Can the Cannons hit a 2 and extend the game? They're pressing out. Muller all over Holman. He picks it back up. How did he keep it? He shoots the 1. Race for the ball.
What a hustle by the Rook.
Incredible. Ajax Zapatello wins the most important run out of the weekend. Pack your bags. This game's over.
Drew?
That was close, but the Whipsnakes survive, and they are the second team this year to go 2-0 in their homecoming weekend.
We got to fight. Jake Bernhardt and trainer, and then Tucci comes over and floors Bernhardt. We got to fight as the teams crossed over to congratulate their goaltenders. And Andres today and Jake Bernhardt, for whatever reason, going at it with Jack Tucci, face-off man.
Interesting. Interesting. There's Bernhardt in that white long sleeve shirt.
Seth Tierney on the scene, restoring order. Coach Stagnita grabs his player and drags
Kyle
him off.
Hartzell's in there.
But what a great weekend for this Maryland Whipsnakes team.
This has been fun, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. 4 games here in the Maryland Whipsnakes homecoming, and they go 2-0. Next weekend, the PLL heads west to Denver. 2 games Friday night on ESPN Plus, and 2 featured games on Saturday, beginning with Atlas Archers at 2:30 Eastern on ABC, Chaos Outlaws at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. For RB, Carr, Q, and our entire crew led by Todd Jones and Brett Lancaster, I'm Drew Carter. Thanks for watching the PLL on ESPN. We will see you in Denver.